Okay, today we're going to cover our last notes before we take our next test. And this is over parent functions. So parent functions, you're going to have a lot of memorization. It's going to include our input and output tables, and then we're going to have to identify some characteristics from it. So whenever we're identifying some characteristics, just some bullet points, you'll have to identify the function type. So is it linear, quadratic, or exponential, which you guys have been doing great with. You'll have to identify the domain and the range. So the domain is all of the x values that the graph hits, and the range is all the y values on the graph. So and you guys will see kind of what our domain and our range kind of look like. And for our parent functions, it's going to be the same each time, whether it's linear, quadratic, or exponential. And then our range is all of our y values. Domain is pretty much going to stay the same. The range is what's going to really change on each one of our functions. X-intercept is where your line crosses the x-axis, which is the one that goes horizontal. And you're going to always have your x-coordinate and then your y and then your 0. Then your y-intercept, where is it crosses the y-axis, which is the one which is up and down, which is vertical. You're always going to have 0 and then whatever y value it crosses at. So let's get started. So we have 3 parent functions. The first one is y equals x, or f of x equals x. So we're going to fill out our input and output table. We're always going to have -2. Well, if my writing will work. -1, 0, 1, and 2. So whenever I plug these in, I'm going to have, it's basically, since it's y equals x, whatever your x is going to be the same for your y value. So linear is pretty easy. So our ordered pair is going to be -2, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 2, 2. So this one there's really not much work for. You won't have to really show your work for the parent functions because we hope you guys can get these memorized. Okay, and then graphing it. So we have -2, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. So you guys, this was a linear line, so we knew it was going to be a straight line. So now we go down to our function type. This is linear. And then domain. So domain is how many x values does it hit? Well, because there's an arrow on each end of my line, that means it's going to go on forever. So it's going to hit as many. So we're going to call this all real numbers, which I do as a double-lined R. Or you can write out all real numbers. The range is going to be the y value. The range on this one is also all real numbers because it goes on forever on the y-axis also. Ooh, I'm sorry, you guys. My screen is not doing what it's supposed to today. And then our x and our y-intercept. This is where it crosses the x and y-axis. So it crosses the x-axis right at 0, 0, and it crosses the y-axis there also. So your x and y-intercept are actually going to be the same. Okay, any questions on our linear? Okay, we're going to move on to quadratic. So our quadratic parent function, we're going to be doing the same thing, except now we have y equals x squared. So we're going to have -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to have -2 squared, -1 squared, 0 squared, 1 squared, and 2 squared. So this is going to give us 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. So our ordered pair is going to be -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Graph these. -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. So if you can remember, this is that U shape. So hopefully you realize that this one's a quadratic. Okay, now for our domain, that's all of our x values. So how far is it going to go on the x-axis? Well, those lines are going up, and they're going to continue going up forever. So it's going to get an infinite amount of x values. So we're going to call this all real numbers again. Now our range, because it's just at 0 and going up, it's at 0, so it's going to be y is greater than or equal to 0. And then our x and y intercept, this is where it crosses at both. So it's going to be 0, 0, and 0, 0. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on that. And the last one we have is our exponential parent function. So again, we have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And then we're going to plug in. So we're going to have 2 to the -2nd, 2 to the -1st, 2 to the 0, 2 to the 1st, and 2 to the 4th. So this is going to give us 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, and 4. I totally messed up on that last one, didn't I, you guys? It should be 2 to the 2nd. So this is all of our ordered pairs. We're going to have -2, 1/4, -1, 1/2, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 4. Okay, so then we're going to graph these points. -2, 1/4, -1, 1/2, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 4. And I'm going to graph this line. So this line, because it's an exponential, it's going to go along my x-axis and then go up. Make sure you put arrows on the end of your guys' line. So hopefully you guys remember, since it's that curve shader, that L shape, it's going to be exponential. Our domain, because it's going in both directions for my x-axis all the time, it's going to be all real numbers. Your range, it's going to be greater than 0 because it never hits 0 on the y. Your x-intercept, there is no x-intercept because it's never going to cross the x-axis. So x-intercept is none. And then our y-intercept, it crosses here at 0, 1. So that is your y-intercept. So these are our 3 parent functions, you guys. So these ones are going to, so all of the characteristics for the parent functions are going to stay the same. Whenever we make adjustments to that parent functions, those are when the characteristics will change. But just for this part of the test, we just need to know the parent functions. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions and you guys can get started on your homework.